As promised, guys, we have the defining debate that everybody's been waiting for. What is better, misery business
or good for you?
Alright, so what are your points?
My points are, good for you is more along the lines of something that the newer generation would like, and it's a lot more upbeat, and there's a lot more words that make more sense towards the audience that it's going for compared to misery business, where it's like there's some words that are just like petty, honestly.
Alright, well, the thing that I still disagree with is I feel like there's no bit from Good For You that doesn't sound like something that could have been made in 2007, 2007 is when Misery Business came out. And I do agree though that the song is petty. However, like, you could argue the same thing about Jealousy, which I know we're talking about two different songs, but Jealousy is also
very
petty.
Narcissistic.
Yeah.
She's a great artist though. They both are. They're both incredible artists, and would never like downgrade them or anything or compare them because they're amazing artists. However, the songs are two different things, which people keep getting mixed up with the fact that it's the same stuff. Like
pop punk.
Yeah, like the fact that it was made in 2007 is obviously there's going to be like different things because it's a whole other generation. But nowadays it's like there's a lot more.
I still disagree. Because you can argue all you want, but there's no such thing as new music. A lot of the music, the only thing that they do is that they just take old music and then they add in like instruments and stuff that didn't have back then, and then they consider it new music.
Well, the fact that like in the past, I'd say it was more like get with everybody, sleep with everybody, do everybody, all that.
That's not pop punk.
No, I'm saying like that kind of stuff compared to now where it's like a guy like doesn't necessarily cheat, but he like goes after a girl immediately, and that's what can like cause girls to go off. However, I feel like that's what made the song different nowadays. It was more on the lines of Taylor Swift than Misery Business, because Misery Business is like basically she gets the guy and all that, but Olivia's song is like basically how everyone feels when they're going through a really bad breakup, put into words and like an upbeat, which is really good. And then like the bridge and all that was really, really well done, and the music video was incredible. Now I'm not saying that the other song is a terrible song, because it's a good song to listen to. However, I'm saying the audience and more people would listen to Good For You nowadays because it has more of like a unique vibe to it compared to 2007, where if you listen to like Avril Lavigne around the same time, then you'd hear like the same mixture in it because it's all the same generation. Just like now, if you listen to some songs now, it sounds like the exact same like a lot of other things, which is very complicated with the music, but that's the music industry for you.
The only thing I can say is the chord changes. The chord changes, I don't know how to really put this together, but like comparing Good For You to Misery Business, I feel like I understand what you mean, like how the sound's a little bit different. I think the sound from Misery Business just sounds a little bit more like, like our old pop punk, depending on which pop punk we're talking about. I guess you could like Misery Business, like maybe Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco. That's like 2007. I feel like it's more like a like but like it's that bit of the song sounds like it's a little bit upbeat, and then like I feel like just the I understand what you mean. It almost sounds like it's still in a gray field, even though it's trying to be like more upbeat and like catchy. I see what you mean.
Because there's only certain programs and like instruments and all the chords available back then compared to now, where there's all kinds of programs like. Well, everyone's gonna have a different opinion. However, there's a lot more like things you could bring to music nowadays that before you couldn't add to like your kind of music because apparently it wasn't trendy or wouldn't sound good or sell, which is like the main priority if you're going to make music, is you want to sell to your buyers and audience. So you kind of have a lot more programs now available which can add like if you're going for like a pop pop punk, but also like throwing in heavy rock or heavy metal involved in it. You can do that now with all kinds of programs and that. However, before there was like only a certain amount of programs because technology wasn't as.
I still disagree with that. However, I know what your point is. Your point is basically saying that like, you know, we had to go through different trends in order to get to this point now.
Yeah.
That's what
Anyways,
it sounds like.
For the main results of this video, the whole point of this video is me and Josh and I decided to do a poll, and it was misery business and good for you. So what were the results of your poll?
There was only a 2 or 3. I'm pretty sure there's only a 2-person difference. However, the interesting thing, more people voted for misery business. I can't remember the poll. Do you remember? It was 60 and 40. Yeah, there's a 2 difference. It was a 60 and 40. And the interesting thing though is I think minus 2 people that voted misery business. The other people that picked it were not like no one was like from what I've known, like they're not part of the alternative culture or anything like that. So it was a little bit interesting to see that like I don't want to say normal people voted misery business, but I was a little bit surprised by that.
I was shocked by my poll because 72 people voted for good for you and 1 person voted for misery business. So it basically depends on like what kind of music you grow up with or like what kind of music you're into. And main point that I really enjoy is the fact that there's a lot of adults that like Olivia, because like they will all say, it's grown so much from 2007 where like you could jam out and all that. It is incredible music, no one's dissing that whatsoever. However, it's evolved over time, and now the same people that could like jam out to that back then will now get involved with like music that's coming out now that's actually good music, especially made by like artists that are younger and that are like evolving. And especially if you have like how she has Taylor Swift with her and Cohen Gray and all them are like getting with her for her music, which makes it like incredible because it's all different kind of artists that are very, very popular at the moment, forming music together, writing lyrics and all that put into one thing. Especially if I think one thing that every teenager could agree with is if you go through a really bad breakup and the boy like really, really gets you angry and all that, it is so easy to write a song about. But the way Olivia took her lyrics and added her voice into the video and everything, the way it was all planned out, really reminds you of something that would be made in 2007. The video, I would say, I would agree with that. However, she took the 2007 vibes and added like nowadays vibes, which made it incredible. I won't say it's the best song ever, because there's so many songs out there, but it's really good. I was really shocked with the person that voted for Misery Business though, because they strike you as a type that's like very trendy, loves like rap and all that kind of music. However, they have a soft spot for the music, in which I agree with. Everyone has their own opinion with music, but they really, really like the song and they jam out to it with their mom all the time. So I'd say it was a good poll, and it was a good experience, especially for teenagers, because you never really understand what someone's point of music is unless you like ask them. Like, you might not even think some of the people would like the music nowadays, because my grandparents on the other hand, they like all kinds of music, but you never understand what people back then now would like, because you might think, oh, they're gonna stick to what they grew up with, but then they evolved to liking the stuff nowadays if it's good music, because there's a difference between good music and like but no matter what, you have to make your music not only to the point that you feel good about it, because one, you're the one that's writing the music and doing all that and putting your time and effort into it, but the people you're selling it to, which is very, very important, because you have to make a profit off of this. And like, the thing that like probably made a lot of people mad was the fact that you add like a merchandise and like you're necessarily advertising your music in different ways, which can piss a lot of people off, especially if songs like that are really good songs don't really get advertised enough, because it also depends on your management and all that kind of jazz. But yeah, I'd say it was a good experience. What about you?
I agree with most of your opinions. Some things you're a little bit confused about, and there's some stuff that like you don't know everything entirely, but no, for the most part, I do agree with your opinions, and I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see that our audience is kind of connected, and we got to see different perspectives on what people, anybody who follows us, what they listen to and what they enjoy. I think it was a great stunt, and yeah.
Also, sorry, Mom, for blasting Good For You 24/7.
All right.
Bye.
Next topic: is Time Traveler's Wife better than Fear Street?